For centuries, there were fearsome tales of a half-human monster roaming the African forests. Even in modern times, knowledge of the elusive creature, the wild chimpanzee, was largely based on speculation. Then, in 1960, a daring young Englishwoman set out to sort fiction from truth. She had been warned, you'll never get near the chimpanzees, but she was determined to try. Her name, Jane Goodall. She was 26 years old and destined to make scientific history. Against odds many thought insurmountable, she gradually earned the chimpanzee's trust. The picture that has emerged is an awesome portrait of the animals most like man. The similarities to humans are startling. The obvious physical resemblance. The discovery that they hunt and eat meat. The even more profound revelation that they are intelligent enough to make and use tools. And in their nonverbal communication, perhaps the most uncanny resemblance of all. Meticulously documented on motion picture film, Jane Goodall's classic study stretches from 1960 to the present day. A compelling chronicle that spans 3 generations of chimps, it is the longest study of any wild animal group in the world. Unexpectedly, one of its recent chapters took a forbidding turn. The usually gentle, amiable chimps revealed a dark and sinister side, puzzling, savage behavior as yet unexplained. And so the saga goes on, the remarkable adventure of the wild chimpanzees and the dedicated woman who works among them still. Growing up in Bournemouth, England, Jane Goodall was drawn to the world of animals almost from the start. When her mother gave the infant a chimp doll, outraged friends predicted nightmares. They could not have been more wrong.
Even when I was very tiny, I was absolutely fascinated by animals. I think I first began to dream of going to Africa after reading Dr. Dolittle and Tarzan when I was about 8. I was absolutely fascinated with the idea of being out in the jungle, out with the animals, feeling a part of it all.
Famed anthropologist Louis Leakey had long searched for someone to study wild chimpanzees for clues to the behavior of early man. I want someone unbiased by academic learning, he said, someone with uncommon patience and dedication. His faith in Jane Goodall would lead to one of the most important scientific studies of our time. Her journey would take Goodall to the East African country of Tanzania, then known as Tanganyika. The remote Gombe Stream Game Reserve stretches for about 10 miles of rugged mountainous country along the shore of Lake Tanganyika. And so, on the 14th of July, 1960, Jane Goodall was 4,000 miles from home. A tiny boat, her only link to the civilized world.
When I arrived at the Gombe Stream Reserve, I felt that at long last my childhood ambition was being realized. But when I looked at the wild and rugged mountains where the chimpanzees lived, I knew that my task was not going to be easy.
Day-to-day life in this remote wilderness would be difficult at best. The local authorities, horrified at the thought of a young white woman alone in the wild, at first refused Jane permission to come, agreeing only when she said she would bring a companion. Aside from her mother, Van Goodall, and an African cook, Jane would spend the next several months virtually alone,